The thing about being the family scapegoat is that people stop seeing you as a person. You become a role, a punching bag, the one they can all agree to look down on. I learned this lesson early, and by the time I was 31, I'd perfected the art of staying quiet while they tore me apart. My sister Amanda had always been the golden child. 3 years older, effortlessly beautiful, married to a successful orthodontist named Derek. They lived in a gorgeous house in the suburbs, drove matching luxury SUVs, and their Instagram looked like a lifestyle magazine. Meanwhile, I was Emma, the younger sister who never quite figured things out, according to family consensus. I worked as a financial analyst, which sounds impressive until my family explained it. She crunches numbers for other people's money, my mother would say with a dismissive wave. Nothing creative. Very boring work. The fact that I made $240,000 a year never came up in their assessments of my worth. I dressed simply, drove a modest car, lived in a small apartment. I didn't advertise my success because I'd learned early that it only made them uncomfortable. Amanda, meanwhile, advertised everything. New designer bags appeared in her posts weekly. Vacation photos from Cabo, the Maldives, Greece. The Christmas after she got married, she surprised everyone with Cartier bracelets. $8,000 each, she made sure to mention. Our mother wore hers constantly, showing it off to her book club friends. What nobody knew was that I'd been the one making Amanda's minimum payments for the past 4 years. It started innocently enough. She called me crying one night, her voice panicked. I made a mistake. Derek doesn't know, but I maxed out a credit card on the house renovations. The payment is due and I'm short. Can you cover it just this once? I'll pay you back. The payment was $890. I sent it without hesitation because that's what sisters do. The second time was 3 months later. The renovation went over budget. Just $1,200 this time. I promised last time. Then it was the car payment. Then another credit card I didn't know existed. Then a personal loan she'd taken out for a business opportunity that fell through. By the end of year 1, I'd paid $23,000 of her debt. I'm going to pay you back everything, she swore each time. Derek's getting a raise. I'm cutting back. You're literally saving my marriage. If he finds out I spent this much, he'll leave me. So I kept paying. Every month, like clockwork, I'd transfer money to cover her minimum payments across 4 credit cards and 2 loans. The amounts crept up, $2,800 a month, then $3,200, then $3,600. She kept spending, kept accumulating, kept coming back with tears and promises. By year 4, her total debt had ballooned to $87,000. I'd personally paid $41,300 in minimum payments alone. Money that barely touched the principal because her interest rates were astronomical. She'd never paid me back a single dollar. The financial analyst in me knew this was unsustainable. The sister in me kept hoping she'd change. Then came Thanksgiving. My mother's dining room was decorated like a Martha Stewart fever dream. Fall leaves scattered artfully across the table, monogrammed napkins, a centerpiece that probably cost more than my monthly rent. 23 family members crammed into the house. Parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, Amanda and Derek, their 2 kids. I arrived in my usual style. Simple sweater, jeans, a pie from the grocery store bakery. Amanda swept in 30 minutes late in a new Burberry coat, carrying a charcuterie board from that expensive artisan shop downtown. Sorry we're late, she sang. I was at the spa all morning. Self-care Sunday, you know. Mom hugged her like she'd returned from war. You work so hard, sweetheart. You deserve it. I set my grocery store pie on the counter next to Amanda's $200 charcuterie display and felt exactly as invisible as I was meant to feel. Dinner conversation followed its predictable pattern. Derek talked about his orthodontic practice expanding. Amanda showed everyone photos of their upcoming trip to Turks and Caicos. Just a little getaway before the holidays get crazy. My cousin Brian discussed his promotion. My Aunt Susan bragged about my cousin Jennifer's new house. When the conversation turned to me, my mother's voice took on that careful, pitying tone. And Emma's still doing her number thing. Very stable work. Steady paycheck, my father added like he was complimenting a reliable toaster. That's wonderful, Aunt Susan said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur like Amanda. Amanda beamed. She'd sold monogrammed koozies on Etsy for 3 months 2 years ago before abandoning it. Apparently that made her an entrepreneur. The real trouble started when my younger cousin Maya mentioned she was struggling with student loans. It's just so overwhelming, Maya said, her voice cracking slightly. I'm barely making the minimum payments. I opened my mouth, ready to offer advice. I'd helped 3 friends consolidate and restructure their loans, saving them thousands in interest. But my mother cut me off. Emma, not everyone wants to hear about numbers and calculations. My face burned, but I stayed quiet. You should talk to Amanda, my mother continued. She's so good with money. Look at that beautiful house. Amanda launched into what she called financial advice, which mostly consisted of just budget better, and maybe get a side hustle. Nothing practical. Nothing helpful. Maya nodded politely, but I could see the desperation still in her eyes. After dinner, I found Maya alone in the kitchen. Hey, I have some resources about loan consolidation. If you want, I can send you. Oh my God, Emma. Amanda appeared in the doorway, wine glass in hand, eyes sharp. Can you not? I was just offering to help. She doesn't need your help. Amanda's voice had that edge I'd learned to recognize. She needs real advice, not whatever you're selling. I'm not selling anything. I just know about. What? Numbers. Amanda laughed, and it wasn't kind. That's literally your only skill. You can't just insert yourself into every conversation. My father appeared behind her. What's going on? Emma's trying to give Maya financial advice, Amanda said, making it sound absurd. When she can barely manage her own finances. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? Amanda's eyes glittered dangerously. Come on, Em. We all know you're always short on cash. That's why you live in that tiny apartment. That's why you never travel. That's why you dress like you shop at Goodwill. The kitchen had gone silent. Maya looked mortified. My father frowned. Amanda, I said quietly, that's not. You're always asking for money, Amanda continued, her voice rising. It's embarrassing, honestly. At every family event you've got your hand out. My blood ran cold. I have never asked you for money. Please. She rolled her eyes. Just last month you were calling me about bills. I had called her last month. To tell her I couldn't keep covering her payments forever. To ask, again, for even partial repayment. But she'd rewritten the narrative so smoothly that even I almost questioned my memory. Emma. My mother's voice was disappointed. If you're struggling financially, you should have told us. I'm not struggling. There's no shame in it, my father added. But Amanda's right. Constantly asking your sister for money is inappropriate. I have never. I stopped. There was no point. I could see it in their faces. They believed Amanda. They would always believe Amanda. This is exactly what I mean, Amanda said, gesturing at me with her wine glass. Always so defensive. Look, we get it. You're not good with money. But you need to stop making it everyone else's problem. The room was staring. Maya looked like she wanted to disappear. My aunts had appeared in the doorway, drawn by the drama. Amanda was on a roll now. I feel bad for you, I really do. But at some point you need to take responsibility for your choices. Get a better job. Budget better. Stop begging for money from family members who actually have their lives together. Something in her voice, that casual cruelty, that absolute certainty that she was superior, made something crack inside me. I'd been paying $3,600 a month. Every month. For 4 years. I'd paid her car insurance when she forgot. I'd covered her kids' private school enrollment fee when she was between opportunities. I'd sent money for groceries when she claimed Derek was being unreasonable about the budget. $41,300. And she was standing in my mother's kitchen in her Burberry coat, drinking wine that probably cost $80 a bottle, telling everyone I was a charity case. I pulled out my phone. Emma, what are you doing? My mother's voice was sharp. Taking responsibility for my choices, I said calmly. I opened my banking app and navigated to scheduled payments. There were 6 of them, all scheduled for the first of each month. 2 credit cards, 1 personal loan, 1 car payment, 1 insurance payment, 1 household expenses payment. All going to Amanda. My finger hovered over the first one. Stop begging for money, Amanda sneered, emboldened by the audience. It's embarrassing. Everyone nodded in agreement. My mother. My father. My Aunt Susan. Even Derek looked uncomfortable on my behalf. I smiled. You're right. Then I canceled the first payment. The second. The third. Within 90 seconds I'd canceled all 6 recurring transfers. Then I texted my bank directly through the app. Please stop all payments on the following accounts. I listed Amanda's credit card numbers, which I'd memorized from 4 years of paying them. I looked up. Amanda was still talking something about how family helps family but there are limits. Her face was flushed with wine and righteousness. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. It buzzed again. Anyway, she continued, I just think. Buzz. 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 3 more notifications in rapid succession. Amanda pulled out her phone, annoyed. Her face went pale. What? Derek asked. Nothing. It's nothing. But her hands were shaking slightly as she stared at the screen. I could imagine what she was seeing. Credit card payment failed. Auto-pay declined. Insufficient funds for scheduled payment. My bank moved fast. Her phone rang. She declined the call. It rang again immediately. Capital One probably. Or Chase. Are you going to get that? My mother asked. It's just spam, Amanda said, but her voice had gone thin. I gathered my coat. I should go. Emma, wait. My father's voice. We didn't mean. No, it's fine. Amanda's right. I need to stop making my problems everyone else's responsibility. I headed for the door. Behind me, Amanda's phone wouldn't stop ringing. I drove home in silence, my hands steady on the wheel. For years. $41,000. And she'd called me a beggar in front of the entire family. My phone started ringing before I even reached my apartment. I declined. She called again. Declined. Text message. Call me please. Another text. What did you do? Another. Why are my payments declining? I turned my phone on silent. By the time I got home, I had 14 missed calls from Amanda and 23 text messages ranging from confused to panicked to angry. The last one read, call me right now, this ain't funny. I made myself tea and opened my laptop. Time to be thorough. I pulled up my banking records from the past 4 years and created a detailed spreadsheet. Every payment, every date, every amount. I had text messages going back to the beginning. All her promises to pay me back, all her emergencies, all her desperate midnight calls. I compiled everything into a single PDF. 47 pages of documentation. Then I sent it to my personal email, time-stamped and backed up to 3 different cloud services. Just in case. My phone lit up with another call. I watched it ring until it went to voicemail. 30 seconds later, another voicemail notification. I waited until morning to listen to them. The first voicemail was angry. Emma, what the hell did you do? My payments aren't going through. Fix this. Now. The second was frantic. Please, I don't understand what's happening. My cards are declining. The bank called. Please call me back. The third was tearful. Emma, I'm serious. I don't know what you did, but this isn't funny. Derek is asking questions. Please. Just call me. The fourth was my mother. Emma Jean, Amanda is very upset. I don't know what this is about, but you need to fix whatever you've done. Call your sister. I deleted all of them and made myself breakfast. My phone rang at 8:47 a.m. Unknown number. I answered. Miss Emma Richardson? A professional female voice. Speaking. This is Janet from Chase Bank Customer Service. I'm calling regarding a payment arrangement you had set up on an account ending in 7734. Amanda's primary credit card. I need to verify your authorization to cancel this recurring payment. I set up the payment from my personal account, I said calmly. I'm canceling it effective immediately. I see. And you understand this may result in late fees and interest charges on the cardholder's account. I do. May I ask why you were making payments on someone else's credit card? Family arrangement that's ending. Brief pause. I understand. The cancellation is confirmed. Is there anything else I can help you with today? No, thank you. I hung up. 5 minutes later, Amanda called again. I didn't answer. Text message. The bank called me. They said you canceled everything. Why would you do this to me? I responded with a single message. You said I need to stop asking you for money. I'm respecting your wishes. My phone immediately rang. I declined. Another text. That's not what I meant and you know it. Me, you were very clear. In front of everyone. I'm just a beggar who's embarrassing the family. I'm removing myself from being your financial problem. Amanda, please. I have $87,000 in debt. I can't make these payments. I stared at that message for a long moment. She just admitted it. In writing. The debt I'd been covering. Me, then perhaps you shouldn't have spent that $87,000. This is no longer my responsibility. Best of luck with your budget. I muted the conversation. By Monday morning, the situation had escalated beautifully. My mother called at 7:15 a.m. Emma, what have you done? Good morning, Mom. Amanda is having a breakdown. Her credit cards are maxed out and she's getting calls from collection agencies. Did you do something? I stopped paying her bills. Silence. You, what? I've been paying Amanda's credit card bills, car payment, insurance and personal loan payments for the past 4 years. On Thanksgiving she told the entire family I was a beggar who was always asking her for money. So I stopped paying. Emma, that's not, she didn't mean. She called me embarrassing, Mom. In front of everyone. She told everyone I couldn't manage money while I've been paying $3,600 of her bills every single month. $3,600. My mother's voice cracked. Every month. Every month for 4 years. I have documentation of every payment. Why didn't you tell us? She asked me not to. She said it would ruin her marriage if Derek found out how much debt she had. My mother was quiet for a long moment. Emma, regardless of what Amanda said, you can't just cut her off like this. She needs. No. My voice was firm. She needs to take responsibility for her choices. Her words. I'm done enabling her spending addiction while she tells everyone I'm the one with money problems. She's your sister. And I've given her $41,300 over 4 years. Without a single dollar paid back. While she bought Burberry coats and went to Turks and Caicos and called me a charity case. My mother had no response to that. If she needs help, I continued, she should ask her husband. Or get a job. Or sell some of those designer bags. But she's not getting another dollar from me. I hung up. Tuesday afternoon my father called. Emma, we need to talk about this situation with Amanda. There's no situation, Dad. I'm simply no longer paying bills that aren't mine. She's in real trouble. The credit card companies are threatening to send her to collections. She's going to ruin her credit. She ruined her credit by spending money she didn't have. That's not my problem. Don't you care about your sister? The question hit harder than it should have. Did I care? Of course I did. That's why I'd paid for 4 years. That's why I'd sacrificed vacations and investments and my own financial goals to keep her afloat. But caring about someone doesn't mean drowning with them. I care enough that I enabled her for 4 years, I said quietly. I care enough that I've paid over $40,000 of her debt. I care enough that I protected her marriage by keeping her secrets. But I don't care enough to let her humiliate me publicly while I bankrupt myself for her designer lifestyle. That's very selfish, Emma. Then I'm selfish. She needs to figure this out herself. What if she loses her house? She lives in a house Derek pays for. She'll be fine. What if Derek leaves her when he finds out? Then maybe she shouldn't have lied to him for 4 years about $87,000 in secret debt. My father sighed. You've changed, Emma. You used to be kind. I used to be useful, I corrected. There's a difference. Wednesday brought a new development. My cousin Maya called. Emma? It's Maya. From Thanksgiving. Can we talk? Of course. I wanted to apologize. For what happened. I had no idea what was going on, and watching Amanda say those things about you when you were just trying to help me, I felt terrible. It's not your fault, Maya. I know, but, look, something weird is happening. My mom talked to your mom and apparently Amanda's having some kind of financial crisis? And it has something to do with you. I should have stayed quiet. But Maya had been genuinely kind in her message and she'd asked directly. Amanda's been in significant credit card debt for years, I said carefully. I was helping her by covering her minimum payments. She asked me to keep it secret. At Thanksgiving she told everyone I was constantly asking her for money, which was a complete lie. So I stopped paying her bills. Wait. Maya's voice changed. You were paying her bills? While she was telling everyone you couldn't manage money? For 4 years. Oh my God. It's fine. I just decided it was time to stop. How much were you paying? That's between Amanda and me. Emma. How much? I hesitated. About $3,600 a month. $41,000 total over 4 years. Maya was quiet for so long I thought she'd hung up. Maya. That's insane, she whispered. She was wearing a new Burberry coat. She was talking about Turks and Caicos. She was giving me financial advice. I know. And you were paying her credit cards. Yes. While she called you a beggar. Yes. Emma, you need to tell everyone. The whole family needs to know what she did. I'm not telling anyone anything. This is between Amanda and me. But she humiliated you. And if I tell everyone, I'll look petty and vindictive. She'll spin it as me trying to hold money over her head. Trust me, Maya. The best revenge is just letting her deal with the natural consequences of her choices. But Maya, bless her Gen Z heart, had other ideas. Thursday evening, my phone started blowing up. My Aunt Susan called. Emma, honey, Maya told me what's been going on. Great. I don't want to talk about it, Aunt Susan. No, listen. I had no idea. None of us did. The way Amanda spoke to you at Thanksgiving. If we'd known you were helping her financially this whole time. It doesn't matter. It's done. It matters very much. Your mother is beside herself. We all are. Why is everyone acting like I did something wrong? I stopped paying bills that weren't mine. That's all. Sweetheart, nobody thinks you did anything wrong. We're horrified at how Amanda treated you. Your Uncle Frank is ready to drive over there and give her a piece of his mind. Please don't. This is between siblings. After what she said to you. After how she humiliated you while you were literally keeping her afloat. Emma, that's beyond. Aunt Susan. Kept my voice level. I appreciate your support. But I need everyone to let this go. Amanda needs to figure out her finances. I need to move on. That's all. But the calls kept coming. My cousin Brian, dude, I had no idea. That's messed up. My Uncle Frank, that girl needs to learn some respect. My cousin Jennifer, oh my God, Emma, I'm so sorry. Even Derek called. Emma. His voice was strained. Can we talk? If this is about Amanda's debt, you should talk to her. I did. She finally told me everything. The credit cards, the personal loan, the fact that you've been covering it. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Why are you apologizing? Jesus, Emma, you've been paying thousands of dollars a month for years. It's done now. She told everyone you were asking her for money. I know. While you were literally paying her bills. I know, Derek. I'm so sorry. His voice cracked. I had no idea she was in this much debt. I handle our joint accounts, but she kept saying she had her own money from her Etsy thing. I didn't know she'd maxed out cards in her name only. And I definitely didn't know she was lying about you. It's okay. It's not okay. What she said to you was cruel. And it was a lie. And now our entire financial situation is... He stopped. That's not your problem. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry and I'm dealing with this and you don't owe us anything. Thank you, Derek. And Emma? What you did, helping her for that long even after how the family treats you, that was really kind. She didn't deserve that kindness, but it was still kind. I had to clear my throat before I could speak. Take care of yourself, Derek. Friday morning, Amanda finally showed up at my apartment. I opened the door to find her standing there, no makeup, hair in a messy bun, wearing sweatpants. She looked like she'd been crying. Can I come in? I should have said no. But old habits die hard. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, taking in my small apartment. The place she'd always made subtle digs about. Cozy, she'd say, meaning cramped. Minimalist, meaning cheap. Emma, she stopped. Started again. I messed up. You did. I'm so sorry. What I said at Thanksgiving was completely out of line. I was drunk and stupid and I wanted to sound successful in front of everyone and I threw you under the bus. You called me a beggar, Amanda. While I was paying $3,600 a month of your debt. I know. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I know. And I have no excuse. I was horrible. But Emma, I'm drowning here. The credit card companies are calling constantly. Derek is furious. He's talking about making me get a job and sell my car and cancel the Turks and Caicos trip and... Good. She looked up shocked. Good, I repeated. You're $87,000 in debt, Amanda. You should get a job. You should sell the luxury SUV. You absolutely should cancel the Caribbean vacation. But Derek will know how bad it is. Derek already knows. He called me yesterday. Her face crumpled. This is going to ruin my marriage. No. Your lying ruined your marriage. Your spending ruined your marriage. Not me stopping enabling you. Please, just a few more months. Just until I figure something out. I'll get a job, I promise. I just need time to... No. Emma, please. I gave you 4 years, Amanda. 4 years of just one more month. 4 years of promises you never kept. 4 years of excuses and emergencies, and I'll pay you back. And you know what I got for it? Public humiliation and being called a charity case by the person I was literally keeping afloat. I was wrong. You were cruel. There's a difference. I walked to the door and opened it. I'm done. Figure it out yourself. I can't. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you spent $87,000 you didn't have. Maybe you should have thought about that before you lied to your husband. Maybe you should have thought about that before you stood in Mom's kitchen and called me a beggar in front of everyone I know. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back $41,000. Sorry doesn't undo the humiliation. Sorry doesn't change the fact that you were perfectly happy to let me destroy my own finances while you played the successful entrepreneur on Instagram. Amanda stood there, tears streaming, and for a moment she looked like the sister I'd grown up with. The one who taught me to ride a bike. The one who threatened to beat up my middle school bullies. But that sister was gone, buried under years of entitlement and cruelty. I really am sorry, Em. I believe you're sorry you got caught. I believe you're sorry you're facing consequences. But I don't believe you're sorry for what you did to me. She left without another word. The full fallout took another 3 weeks. Derek, to his credit, handled it decisively. He put Amanda on a strict budget, took over all the accounts, sold her SUV and got her a used sedan and canceled the vacation. He made her get a job at a local boutique retail on her feet 40 hours a week. Amanda hated every second of it. My mother tried to mediate several times, suggesting family therapy or reconciliation dinners, but I held firm. I was polite, cordial even, but I was done being the family's emotional support sister. The extended family was split. The older generation thought I was being harsh. The younger generation thought Amanda got off easy. My cousin Maya started a group chat called We Stan Emma with all the younger cousins. I muted it, but it was nice. Christmas was awkward. Amanda and I were civil but distant. She'd lost weight from stress and her new job. Her Instagram had gone quiet. No designer bags, no luxury vacations, just the occasional photo of her kids. Derek pulled me aside before dinner. She's going to therapy. And financial counseling. We're working through it. That's good. She really is sorry, Emma. I know it doesn't change anything, but she is. I believe she regrets it. I just don't know if she understands why it was wrong. He nodded slowly. Fair enough. 6 months after Thanksgiving, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a screenshot of a payment confirmation. $500 to my account. Then a message. First payment. It'll take me 16 years at this rate, but I'm going to pay you back every dollar. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Part of me wanted to send it back. Part of me wanted to tell her I didn't need it. But the truth was she did need to pay it back. Not for me. For her. I texted back. Received. Thank you. I didn't say it was okay. I didn't say we were good. Because we weren't and maybe we never would be. But it was a start. A year after Thanksgiving, Maya asked me to help her consolidate her student loans. I spent a Saturday afternoon showing her how to compare rates, negotiate with lenders and restructure her payments. We saved her $14,000 in interest over the life of the loans. She cried and tried to pay me. I refused. Just remember this when someone else needs help, I told her. And maybe don't let people walk all over you while pretending they're doing you a favor. She laughed. Learn that from the best. The thing about being the family scapegoat is that people stop seeing you as a person. But the thing about stepping out of that role is that you start seeing yourself clearly, not as the villain in someone else's story but as the protagonist of your own. I'm 32 now. I still work as a financial analyst. I still live simply. I still drive a modest car. But I took that $3,600 a month I'd been paying Amanda's bills and put it into investments. My portfolio is up 34% since Thanksgiving. I'm on track to retire at 45 if I want. I also bought a new couch. It's small, trivial, nothing compared to Amanda's designer lifestyle. But it's mine. Paid for with money I earned and kept instead of giving away to someone who saw me as an ATM with a heartbeat. Amanda still makes her $500 monthly payments. We're civil at family events. She's worked her debt down to $71,000. Derek says she's doing better. I'm happy for her. I really am. But I'm happier for me. Because for the first time in my life, I'm not the family scapegoat. I'm not the sister who enables and sacrifices and disappears. I'm just Emma. And Emma doesn't beg for money. He never did.